Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's video. I hope you're doing well. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to a new video series I'm doing, some quick tips for edits in Adobe Lightroom. I'll primarily emphasize and demonstrate Adobe Lightroom Classic because that's the software I use daily. But these edits will also, most of them I think, will work well in Lightroom CC as well. I do have an older playlist of Lightroom kind of basics, getting started in Lightroom, that goes back a couple years. That much hasn't changed. I do know Adobe is going to be releasing in a couple weeks from the recording of this video in the end of September 2024. The new version of all their products. So I'm thinking I'll probably be redoing that intro video and getting started into imports and edits, basic edits, once that release comes out in mid-October. Having said all that, if you have suggestions for some quick tip topics in Lightroom you would like to have covered in this video series, please leave that in the comments below. So today's video is going to be about some quick suggestions and some strategies for editing skies in your photos. I'm going to be using some architecture photos, some urban photos with sky in it, and so this will also translate if you're doing landscape and nature stuff. Here we go. We're going to get started by hopping into Lightroom and getting started with our edits. So I'm going to start with this photo this is in the Spring District in Bellevue, Washington, USA. And this is a very dramatic building. I believe it's one of the meta buildings in this area of Bellevue. As you can see in my thumbnail preview down here, I made a bracketed series of photos. And bracketed photos means you change in this case, I'm changing the exposure for each photo. So the bracketed sequence starts with this photo, which is what I determined to be the exposure I wanted. So that's 0. Here's 4 stops overexposed, 2 stops overexposed, and 4 stops underexposed. Excuse me, this is 2 stops underexposed, and there's 4 stops underexposed here. So one of the things to pay attention to when you're exposing with sky in your photo is not to expose for too bright, because there's not much forgiveness if you overexpose your photo too much. Let me quickly show you that. So I'm going to do the same strategy I will use in the actual demonstration here, but I'll do it really quickly. We're going to use the masking panel tools here. So I'm going to click on the mask icon, select the tab for the sky, and then really quickly it'll select the sky magically for us, and I'll drop the exposure. And you can see it's darker, but there is no detail in these gray mushy areas. So something to pay attention to is there is a limit to how much detail you can recover potentially if your photo is overexposed in the highlights. So this photo is additionally overexposed, but I know I have enough experience with my camera, which is a Fujifilm X-H2S, that I can still pull these details back. So let me show you how I do that. And please know that your performance of your camera, its sensor, will vary from what I'm doing here. So the amounts I choose will be different than what you might do in your photos. So again, I'm going to start with the mask. I'm in the mask panel, and I'm going to choose the sky mask, and it will do its magic. But this photo is a little more challenging for the automatic selection because there's lots of reflections in this building that include the sky. So I need to edit my mask. In red is the area that is selected and will be changed. You can see it's selected some of the building down here and along this edge. So I want to clean this up. Here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to go over to the mask panel, click on mask 1, and then I have options to modify the mask. I'm going to, in this case, click the option to subtract from mask. I'm going to go and use the brush, which lets me freehand brush out the areas I want to delete. So I'm going to click on that. My brush settings are over here. So I have size, which I can adjust on this slider, or I'm going to use the scroll wheel on my mouse. The feather is the softness of the edge of the brush, and I'm going to leave that around 30 something. Again, your personal preference and may vary. I'm going to leave the flow and density at 100 because I want to completely remove these things I'm editing. So make my brush a little bigger, get this big area down here. I'm just gonna brush and get all that stuff away. Additionally, I have in the brush settings auto mask turned on. That will help me select this edge along here where I've got a little bit of the mask creeping into the building. I'm gonna go with a smaller brush and come in here and just select away that and brush away. If you do make a mistake and you go, oops, I accidentally removed some of the sky I want, the quick way to get that back is to hold down the Option key, which will invert whatever your brush is. So if I was adding, it would subtract. In this case, I'm subtracting, so it will add. There's a plus sign in the brush. So if I just come back in here and brush that back in, I will get my sky back. A little bit over here to remove as well. The nice thing is you don't have to be super precise in this first pass. If you notice halos or edges on sharp edges, when you're editing your sky, you may want to come back in and fine tune your edit, but I usually start with a rough edit like this. Additionally, if you are doing sky edits on landscape photos, you may not need to do this subtract process because you won't have sky reflections in maybe the mountains or anything, but if you do, this is how you do it. All right, so I now have my sky selected, and what I want to do is go into the masking edit panel and make some adjustments starting with exposure. So I'm going to take my exposure slider. If you remember, this photo was overexposed by 2 stops, so I'll just start by going exposure to -2. The sky looks pretty good. Notice I do have detail in the sky, unlike that 4-stop overexposed one. It's a little bright here, but I'm okay with that. Additionally, I will pull down highlights and whites just a little bit, just to take a little bit of the brightness out of the sky. Again, your preference and values may change here depending on your camera. Another option you can do to edit your sky is in the color area. If you want to go a little cooler or warmer with the sky, you can do that here. I'll go just a little cooler. Same with tint, you can go a little more towards the green, which will turn your sky a little more aqua, or you can go towards the pink and purples. I'll go just a little bit towards the green. And then the last thing I tend to do in my sky edits is in the effects area of the mask editing panel. And I'll add some clarity to the sky. So I'll just turn it all the way up so you can see what it's doing. And then if you go all the way negative, it softens it. This case, I want a little more drama in the sky. So I'll just go increase the clarity to about 24 or 25. And I'll also, the magic for editing skies is the dehaze slider. It's kind of the secret sauce. So this, you will bring out a ton of detail in the sky, and you can see pretty quickly it'll get to look a little or a lot too much. So pay attention, and again, your camera will vary in how much you will turn this up or down to get the look you want depending on your sensor. I'm at around 13 for this. Now, I like this edit on the sky, but now I've kind of lost the contrast. The building is a little too bright compared to the sky. I just don't have any contrast. So what I want to do is now edit the building. And I want to create a mask to just edit the building. Here's the fastest way to do this now that I have my sky mask. And it works well in this photo because I basically have sky and everything that isn't the sky. So what I want to do is make a copy of my sky mask and then invert it. So select the opposite of the sky, which in this case is the building. Here's how you do that. So over in my masking panel, I'm going to put my mouse over mask 1, which for me in this case is the sky. And I'm going to click on the 3 dots, and that will give me some options. And the one I want is duplicate and invert. So I'm going to click on that. I'll get mask 1 inverted now, and you'll see in red, it's the building. So I want to increase contrast here. So I'm going to make the building darker. We'll go ahead and do that with the exposure. And then I'm going to go ahead and also decrease the blacks and just keep dropping it until it looks good to my eyes. So again, your mileage will vary on this depending on the photo and your camera. I might also just decrease saturation in the color there a little bit, just to give a little more emphasis to the sky. And then I would continue to go to the regular edit panel and make my edits to the overall photo. For me, that's often some color edits and color grading edits. So I'm going to do those real quick, and I'll just show you what I did. I won't bore you with the details, so here we go on that. All right, so those are my edits. I added some HSL color shifts. My preference is I move the blues and aquas to the greens. That's what's going to be, or towards the teal colors. And then in the color grading, I add some blue to the shadows, some oranges to the mids, and some pinky oranges to the highlights. So that's my preferred edit. And I also added a little bit of vignetting. All right, so here's before and here's after. So as you can see, this goes pretty quickly, and it's a great tool for editing your sky in your photos, which can often be tricky to photograph in relation to everything else because it's so much brighter than everything else. So again, the key to making this work is starting with a good exposure. And if you're not sure what exposure exactly you might need, my suggestion is to do an exposure bracket. So create a sequence of 3 to 5, maybe even 7 photos in your camera where each photo is a different exposure, getting darker, 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 and then maybe brighter, brighter, brighter. So if you're not sure how to do that on your camera, my suggestion is to do an online search for that, include your camera name and the word auto exposure bracket, that phrase, and that should help you find how to do that. If you strike out with that resource, I'll leave my contact info down below so you can email me, and I'll do my best to help you find that information. So this concludes the first in the series of videos of some quick editing tips in Adobe Lightroom. Hope you enjoyed. Again, if you have any suggestions for other topics, please leave them down below. I'm glad to hear your input and suggestions on this video specifically, and look forward to a conversation with you about that. So that completes this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you in a future video, either in this Lightroom series or in one of my street photography videos. So until I do see you in that future video, I hope you stay safe, stay well, have fun creating photos and editing photos. So bye for now.